Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. God bless you. My name is Pastor Yemi Omogboyega. Thanks for patronizing my channel. This morning, I want to talk on an end to family bonding has come. An end to family bonding has come. When I talk of family bonding, that is, I am talking of family unity, family oneness, family relationship, family relationship, and I'm not talking of continuity because family will continue to exist, but they may not be united, they may not relate together. As Africans, family bond or bonding is so essential to us. It is one of our major core values. We believe in bonding together, uniting together, relating to one another from generation to generation. Um, like I always say, everything that I talk about, as much as is possible, must have been something that I have experienced. So let me share my own experience, no matter how little, of what I understand by family bonding. The family consists of the father, the mother, that is the immediate family. Then you have the extended families, which extends to the parents, the their own siblings. Then in a polygamous home, all the children that are born to the same father, irrespective of the number of their mothers. In other words, Africans that are polygamous in nature might have several wives. Indeed, we have a good case that is still trending on the social media now of a Nigerian governor whose father just became a king and his father had 17 wives with um, 108 children. That is what everybody put together in that circle of 108. And of course, even by extension, all the women there, the 17 wives and the father, that is a family, extended members of family. And at the same time, you have the communal family or neighborhood family. Let me go to the neighborhood family. You may not necessarily have the same blood, that is, you may not be from the same biological origin, even though all of us are from Adam and Eve, but you still have one kind of relationship or the other. You become a kind of neighborhood family. Then you have of a community family, that is everybody in a community. Then you have township family. Then you have what we called national family. For instance, the Yoruba. The Within the Yoruba race, you have the Ekiti state standing alone, um, bounded by the same origin. Wherever you go in Nigeria, anybody from Ekiti will say, I'm from so 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 Ekiti, so 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 Ekiti. What binds us together is that identity, Ekiti. And then, like I did say in the larger sense again, the entire Yoruba family, we have about five, five states in Nigeria that are predominantly Yoruba. We call it Loobo, Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Osun. Um, which other one now? Ondo, God bless you. Which one is that B again? Uh, I can't remember now. I think there's still one state that is Yoruba dominated. Then you have national family. All of us, and when we say national family, I use national twice now. Ordinarily, the meaning of a nation are people that are bound together by the same culture, by the same language, by the same tradition, and so on and so forth. But in our own case, in Nigeria, we have many cultures. So there are so many nationals in Nigeria. You have the Yoruba, the Hausa, the Fulanis, the Bibios, the Calabaris, the um, Ikweres of this world, um, and so on and so forth. But this time around, when I say national, we are used to, in Nigeria, to calling ourselves a nation. Well, it's a good way to also unite us together, to bond together. So let me use it in the sense of the real meaning now. State bound, state family. That is the entire Nigeria being one state. All right. Thereafter, you have the human race as a family. No matter how much we look at ourselves, white, green, blue, red, yellow, black, we are all human beings. There's no place you see a human being, you say this is so 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 is the human family. Then you have in amongst animals, you have different species, different families. You have the cat family, you have the bird family, you have the reptiles family, you have, and so on and so forth. Now, having discussed all this, let us talk about human family that we are concerned with. Even as we have it among human beings, animals, we also have it in the plant circle. The plant, the banana is a family, and there are other associated families that are not necessarily directly called banana. Then you have the citrus family, and so on and so forth. So, when we talk of family, there is a bond, something binds them together. In the case of human being now, we will say the blood. The blood is the major thing that binds a particularly nucleus family together. So, all these various stages of family setups, and you have religious family too. Religious family, you have everybody in Islam, they are Muslim family. In Christianity, they are Christian families. Those who are in Jehovah Witnesses, they are in, you know, their own family. So all these things identify people as distinct from one another. Even you have professional family, accountants are one, lawyers have NBA, accountants have ICANN as their um, family bond. Then which other way? So many of them. Everybody has his own family. I'm just when we talk of family, family is very diverse. Like I said, we are talking about family in the sense of starting from nucleus to extended family members, and up to national and state, and up to the entire world, human race being a family. We are supposed to bond together. as human beings. Now, what I met, I was born in the 50s, and up to 70s, to the 70s, to the late 60s anyway, so to speak, family bond was still very considered to be very, very important. We have family values. We cherish one another. And let's take it this way: husband and wife, children and the children. Our parents will unite, will continue to relate closely with their places of origin. Father will continue to relate with his parents. Mother will continue to relate with their parents. And then the husband and wife will continue to relate with their families. And then to the society with the neighborhood families and so on and so forth. And like I said, the word family is very wide. So everybody treasures it. I remembered in my own case, I, young as I may be, as early as the 60s, 65, 60s, when I was at least getting to understand things, my mother never left her siblings, uncles, sisters, brothers, and so on and so forth. They were still relating as if they were still together when they were born together in the same family. Now, then, um, all of them also were relating with their mothers, that is the parents. Let me make it simple now by saying siblings relate to one another. Then I still knew the children of up to the third generation of my mother. That is my mother's children's children. It's a little bit complex to explain. What I'm saying is we have a family tree. My mother, father, the two of them originated from somewhere, and we continue to relate with all those, we children continue to relate with all those people, and we bonded in love. If we don't find ourselves, if they don't find themselves, they will come to say hello to one another. And interestingly, one major question that is always uppermost in my mind is that today we discover that things have changed. Not even siblings recognize themselves anymore. Not even siblings recognize themselves anymore unless we make concerted effort for them to continue to relate. If parents do not make such effort, it might get to a point that even siblings will not recognize themselves. They will not relate. Everybody will just mind their own business. And that commonality is no longer going to be there because everybody seems to be selfish now, and nobody bothers about another. Everybody is just pursuing the race of life, not minding relating with the other, not necessarily for rendering help, but it's part of it because um, our parents there, whatever little thing they have, they share in common. Then when they need counsel, they come together and counsel one another. Even when they need prayers, they come together to pray for one another, whether in Isheshe way or in Christian way or in Islamic way. They all relate to one another. The thing is, they are so fond of themselves. Okay, um, bonding to me means fondness of one another. I know my mother's uncles. I know I know my father's uncles. I know their nieces. And in that kind of community related relationship, one feels secured. You lack nothing. So when you now go out to the outer world, you begin to create more further families like professional life, academic families, and all that. But our people never left themselves. And one common thing that is there is that I have discovered that it is not money that is causing it, that is making them to bond together. It's not because they needed one thing from one another. There is that joy in saying, this is my brother, my sister, my sibling. Africa, we don't have uncles. You are just a father or mother or brothers and sisters. So it is the white that, actually made the distinction. So, nothing like nephew, my daddy, my father, my everybody, my mommy, my grandmommy, great grandfather. Yes, we recognize that. So that bonding continues, and there's no end to it. They stay together until death separates them, and even at death they continue to remember one another for good, and even at the point up to the point of burial, they give their uh, relatives a befitting burial. A befitting, to me, honestly, that's what we do today is not a befitting burial. What to do today when even the children don't remember their parents, and the parents die, they go and invite the whole world to come and dine and wine. That's saying that they are giving a befitting burial, and then they carry the body all over the place. They have the money to dish out to do all that. But in the days of our old people, they didn't have that luxury. Yet they give their relatives a befitting burial. Even if one person dies, there is a token that will be brought from the mother side, from the father side. Let's say she's a woman, and even if it's a man, there will be a token that will come from the father side, the mother side, and that token could be in terms of just the wrapper with which they will wrap the person. They so organized it. It might be that the father side will bring a wrapper, the mother side will bring maybe a goat or something, or even a wrapper also. Or in these days of money, there can be like a token. Maybe no matter how rich the family is, there's corporate identity that will say, okay, in the name of in my own case now, from my mother's side, my mother's side, Olayinka family, they will bring something. It can be 5 naira in the name of that corporate identity of Olayinka to say we symbolize, we remember, we retrace your origin to our side. The same thing to the father side. There is a role that everybody has to play. And there's this local beans cake that they do akara. It might be that it is the mother side that will prepare akara today for people to eat. Might be the other one. No matter how, they will gather together and do little things, and then they will dance and do everything until that person goes away. Then the rest continues. So good enough. You can easily identify this family bonding, especially by blood, with your family tree. Like I said, I traced my own family tree to the about the 18th century, from the period of slave trade. I documented it. So today, my children can trace their origin up to that level. But all these things today are missing in our family lives. Everybody just wants to jump out and begin to do what they like. Unless we parents begin to make concerted effort to return to uh, such days, I would say good old days, might get to a point that we all live like the walnut. The walnut pod can have like maybe sometimes 2 seeds, 3 seeds, some might have 4 seeds. In exceptional occasions, some might have five. But those walnuts, they are partitioned into their own domains. They are very close, but they never relate together. And until the owner of the walnut opens the pod and begin to, bring them out, maybe for purpose of processing or cooking, they never met. And why wait until the day of death before human beings should meet? Therefore, we need to begin to, and you see, like I said, they are so useful to themselves in the area of counseling, prayers, bonding together, sharing their thoughts, even sharing their little, whatever little they have, and everybody goes home light. But today, even you have a situation where siblings don't even say hello to one another. I remembered my mother in those days, or my parent, my father. My father would, you know, receives visitors all through his life. He will go to all his siblings to go and just say hello to them. They will come to him until all of them died. That's how life should be. That is how life should be as far as we call ourselves human beings. But today, what are we seeing? The opposite. And the world is turning so much, turning upside down that everybody, you know, many of the blessings you are looking for are with your relatives. But because you don't relate, you don't get them. So the more people you know, the better. Let me give the example of a church, for instance. Look at all these Pentecostal churches. Why are they so anxious to recruit more people into their family fold? It brought about benefits. For instance, the church itself, the leadership, have a network of people, large network of people. You see, now they are using private jets. There's nothing wrong with that, because even if they work hard, they can buy those private jets themselves because of the network of the people. You can imagine if such a popular GO can write a book, and maybe it has like 2 million followers, and rich or poor, 1 million can buy a product of value that he has for sale, a product of sale value. Maybe he writes a book like Rick Warren wrote, The Purposeful Driven Life, The Purpose Driven Life or something. And it did not sell within his church alone, but Christians all over the world purchased that book. As at the time I bought mine was around, he had sold about 11 million copies. Has he not made his wealth to the point that he was able to bless the church back and even refund all the monies he got for over 24 years? So the same thing with the local family. When you bond together, first of all, you are looking for something, you look around you within your family. There are people who are placed in good positions that can introduce and link and link and link. The same thing in the church also. You know that one of the benefits of the church is that you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Network. And to the point that the church penetrated the government and dominated this political arena. In fact, the church was heading towards controlling the state until things began to change because of rivalry between religions. So everybody tends to support one another. In other words, it is very important for us to bond together. Now, in the next, as we go on, we're going to be talking about specifically my own experience in family bonding, and um, we'll begin to understand better what I'm saying, what we need to do as parents, because every good thing starts from the family. If family members are united together, if they are bonded together, that family will make progress. I also talked about the fears that people have about family bonding, oh, bonding, this and that. I also talked about the ways around it. But family bonding is not something that somebody should toy with. And we should all imbibe. I know that our younger generations from 1970 upwards, they are a different species of people entirely. especially the more we get educated, the more we run away from our families, which should not be so. I think we need to, no matter how much we look at it, we all have origins. You want to aspire to become somebody tomorrow, or you even have your relatives near you, and there is need for you to just get one or two things, and where you are looking elsewhere, suffering in the midst of plenty. So, as you are bonding with your family, you bond with your professional family, you bond with your religious family, you bond with your, neighborhood family, you bond with your national family. But all this nonsense we are doing in Nigeria, talking about tribalism, when you get to the US, you get to the UK, Nigerian is Nigeria. So, if we are bonded together, we will not have some of the problems that we are having. So, let me now go to the level where I explain in detail what this topic is all about and how to go about it. God bless you. Back again. Sorry, the memory got filled up. So let's continue. Having given a brief analysis of the past, let us look at the present. I did say that children that were born up to 1969, they still have some empathy and they still have some element of family bonding in them because our parents actually transferred that spirit of love to us. Now, let's look at today's, our modern day generations. Look at it from children that were born in the 70s till date. As for me and my household, what I did as parents, or what my wife and I did as parents, was to try to continue with that spirit of love, that is family bonding. And to actualize this, I deliberately, those who knew me in my family will know that I deliberately did everything to integrate my family, larger families, both sides, to integrate my families. That is, that the kind of bonding that existed amongst our, let me use it, parents that we even knew, our parents and their siblings, that kind of relationship continues up to our generation. Now, as for my own nucleus family, what I did was to ensure that all my children integrated with my larger families, both sides. It was a deliberate effort on my part to ensure that I brought my children back to my origin for them to speak the dialect, to imbibe the good aspects of the culture, because there are bad ones anyway, to ensure that they know, for instance, my siblings, father side, mother side, I made deliberate efforts to integrate them, and to integrate them also to make sure that they themselves, our own children, related very well with our siblings' children, to ensure that there is that family bonding, because it was a treasure to us, to me in particular. Not only that, I encouraged our younger ones in the family that needed exposure to, to stay with us, so that we can blend together. They too can blend with our children. Today, I give glory to God. Those who raised our children with us are not us alone. Our my mother's siblings, children, were among those who raised our children. And then my father's siblings, children too, they also integrated with us. Okay, children going on holidays and all that, we encouraged it, because these are the areas in which you can integrate these children together. If they don't know themselves when they are young, they will never know themselves again, and that family are separated. That's my view, and that's what I work towards, to make sure there is integration, as many as will allow. Try to bring the children nearer and nearer, so that these our own children too could relate. Holidaying is essential. I've never been against my children going to my siblings to spend holidays. And I've never been silent on trying to bring my siblings' children to us so that they spend holidays with us. But did it work the way I thought it would? That's another story entirely. I say up to the third generation of my maternal siblings, men, their children, my children know them. That's the way I set this stage. So today, if you say you are speaking my dialect, my children are not alien to them. Even they don't, most of them don't stay, some of them don't stay in the kitty. They speak the dialect, and there is nothing you say in our dialect that they don't understand. They know the culture. Because I always like to give myself an example. Whatever I'm preaching and teaching, if I have not practiced it, there is no need teaching it. Now, today we have deep Christianity, Pentecostalism, that ought to make things better. We have deep Islam, which is supposed to make things better. The Isheshes, well, they are deeper, even though in the negative sense, because it's like they have increased their tempo of wickedness. But thank God we imbibe Christianity. Christianity is supposed to bring progress, to foster family bonding, to make relationships better, to make families better, to make children that Bible says in Proverbs 22 verse 6, Proverbs 22 verse 6, train your child the way he should go. When he grows up, he will not depart from it. That was my focus. That once my children integrated into the family and integrated with my siblings' children, that generation will continue. If not do better than we did. That's my focus. No more, no less. And in every of my teachings, in my family devotional, I made sure that I taught my children how to relate with family members, know your family, and how to relate with each and every one of them. I disabuse their mind. They will bear me witness. I disabuse their mind as to, one witch or wizard is waiting for you in the town. Come to your home. It is your root. Nobody can uproot you from there. And then your uh, in your village or in your town, all they are doing is to kill. I disabuse their minds that nobody kills you. That reminds me of the story of a family friend. The mother came to Lagos after she had made all efforts, frantic efforts, to make sure that her grandchildren knew the village they came from. One day, an illiterate telling somebody who is educated that, look, if the fear, you're telling the parents that if the fear you have is the fear that they are still killing people, he said, forget about it. Council has carried everything away. Say, council, which means development has overtaken all those things. An illiterate teaching somebody, her own child, that is literate. Counsel, that is development has taken away that. You can imagine. So, gradually, well, that's the way I raised our own children. And not only that, I taught them that the number of you that God gave to us, if all of you, if there is only one that is left, that is not able to meet his or her basic needs in life, and if the greater number of you are able to, the fact that that one person left behind, that that person is not as if he or she is deliberate, that is unteachable, unwilling, or he or she is has no heart for learning and just chooses to be who he or she is. Because there are some children that, there's nothing you do to try to raise them up, they won't rise because they are not willing to rise. I say, except that, and I thank God, amongst the children that God gave to us that I knew, none of them is in that category. So I said, if it remains one person that is unable or that is still languishing in poverty, then the three or four of you that, or the number of you that appear to be successful, you are not successful because you are supposed to be, you owe that one a duty of care to uplift her to him or her to the level where he or she can fly. So don't look at your own selfish interest alone. Make sure that you remember those who are yet to be strong. Help to build them. Charity has to begin at home. If you don't do it, it is a sin on you. You must try to bear each other's burden. Fill in the gap when God has given you the capability to help. Help. If you don't do so, it works against your faith. These are the foundations. And I told them, look, even from my own generation, what I did to support my siblings is to ensure, because I know that I may not be there tomorrow, assuming that I'm even that God even so raised me up and I can feed everybody. Can I do so till they are dying? Though I'm even the last born. Can I feed them till their dying day? Rather, I looked at it from the point of view of raising one child from at least one child from every of my siblings. That is my maternal siblings to be precise. You will be wondering why I'm emphasizing maternal paternal. I did not grow up with my father. So I only came in at a later stage. And whatever could be done, I think I still can I did to my it may not be the what it should have been if I had lived with him. So that is why I'm always emphasizing the maternal side. So the maternal side also, I picked all my siblings and took one child from them, trained them. And as I was training them together with our own children, I was telling them the essence of bringing you to train you is so that you can train and you can take good care of your parents directly, day to day, feeding, housing, clothing, medical, everything. And then the other one, you should take care of. So, at intervals, whatever God gives me to support my siblings, it doesn't preclude me from doing them. I'll still do them. But it's not that it's going to be mandatory upon me uh, to be taking care of my siblings 100%. No, it is the responsibility, is the duty of their children. This principle, which I laid down for them and for every other one, those who keyed to them, they are able to fulfill that thing. I even profited from them. I profited from them. So did I also do to my mother's siblings. My mother's siblings. I took a child each, except one that I would say was unlucky because time and chance did not favor that one. Except one. I did all I can. And these children were able to take care of their own parents. And I take care of my siblings, and they take care of my uh, mother's siblings, or even father's siblings, no matter how rich I am. And thank God, I was only blessed, not so rich, to say to the point that I can be like Dangotes of this world and then do answer everybody's calls. So I did all this. Then I also disabuse my children's mind that look, my siblings, they don't owe you much. I'm sorry, you don't owe them much. Let the truth be told, you don't owe them much. Occasional hello, occasional airtime, occasional greetings, occasional, because God has blessed them. God will also, bless you. But don't run away from them. I remember one of my relatives' children who will say, this your family tie is too large. What are they saying? We cannot relate. Many of us, we made the mistake of thinking that, family bonding is directly proportional to seeking help all the time. No. Whoever you can really help, you help. And the best help you can give to somebody is to give that person a skill. Give them a skill. Give them education. Those who are not education inclined, give them a skill. If they cannot use their education, the exposure they get from education to lift themselves up, that's their problem. If they cannot use their skills, which they acquire from apprenticeship, to care for them, that's their problem. But it doesn't preclude you from just abandoning them. Whatever you can do, you do. and leave it at that. But the larger family you are afraid of, because you think they will be demanding from. There are no beggars among my siblings. I told my children, there are no beggars. Father side, mother side, there are no beggars. If you give to them, you are praying for yourself. I am a direct beneficiary of my siblings' children's blessings today. Did I labor with them? What did I do to them? It is because of the family bonding. It is because that their own parents also taught them well that our family is important. That is why their children could relate well with me to the point of even blessing me without asking. That's why I continue to pray that as many that are being blessed and are blessing others, including their families, God will never cease to bless you. That is the essence of life. It's not because one is hungry. I told my children, none of my siblings are beggars. And as the Lord God Almighty lives, they will never beg for bread to the point that if they don't see you, they won't eat. No, just honor yourself by integrating with the family and key into the family bonding that we are saying. Love is missing everywhere and it starts from the family. Love is missing. Love is not because of money. Our parents don't have money. Yet they demonstrated greatest love of all times. I recognize that. They were poor financially. Now that God is even blessing us, the children, then instead of bonding, and then we are detaching, that's a curse. And that's why the society is going. The national aspect of it was what we have seen in the Badenoch family. That is it. That is the global aspect of it. Compare Konjo Iweala with Kemi Badenoch. An Igbo man will never disown his home. These are our Yoruba náà ní ṣá. Àwa lóṣó ń ṣe, àwa làjẹ́ ń ṣe. An Igbo person, patriotic Igbo person, Igbo nation will never disown themselves. It starts from our homes. Thank God these things that I'm recording, they are there forever. And my children will listen to them. If not today, tomorrow, maybe after I've left, they will value them. I gave my children all these things. Relate. I taught them to the point that in Yekiti, your state of or your community of origin is important. Be part and parcel of the. If it's only 5,000 naira you are able to raise anytime, send it to the community. It's not as if you are announcing who you are. It is because it is imperative for you to give back. That community give birth to me, your father. All right? And I gave birth to you. All right? Anything you are doing to give back to that community, the community through God gave you to me, and gave me to you, and I've done my best. Give back to all of us. There's never a time it is enough. If you say you won't give, you are wasting your time. These are the givings that they should be teaching in the churches that they fail to. And rather than direct the givings to everybody, including the church, they directed it to the church alone. And today, this Christian world is boiling. They overdid it. So these are the values I inculcated into them. No matter where you are in the world, never forget Nigeria. Nigeria is bad. Nigeria is bad. You are still surviving. I pray that God will take you to the uttermost part of the world to go and bring the blessings of this world. If we are going to be human beings that we are, will you think that Kemi Badenoch, is he a child of pride to be proud of? After all, the way God is reaching out to Africans abroad now, Look at what's his name now? Obama. Look at now in Britain, Badenoch. Obama, I don't think Obama actually visited Kenya. I think he visited one African country. Even though we would have been emotional to say I would have gone back to his root, this and that. But he never made derogatory utterances against Kenya. He never did that. I love him for that. The mother was objective enough to release him to go and live with the stepmothers, old stepmothers, who use calabash cup to drink water. And the boy did it. He didn't die. Those of you mothers who are killing your children, who are disintegrating the family, lesson for you if you will ever learn. And this boy got fulfilled. And Badenoch got there. Instead of either keeping quiet or helping so much to help us to fight the corruption in Nigeria, help us to repatriate the monies. I hope my children will listen to this. Wherever you are in the world, you are going to be an ambassador of Nigeria to improve Nigeria, not to destroy Nigeria. I didn't send you to do that. And then you are going back to improve our community, not to destroy our community. You are going back to improve our family lineage, not to destroy them. Now, let me give that example. What I observed in this generation, the generations of the 70, let me start with among the siblings that God used me to raise, because there's no good man anywhere. Christ has said it. God just laid that spirit in me to help to develop others. And the way God has helped me, it started with my family, it extended to outsiders, not just a question, and it extended beyond my tribe. I wish I could do more. But reviewing that now, like I said, first of all, those who got those trainings and key to them, they are able to take good care of their children. I'm so proud. Not only that, I even profited. Like I said, those who got the training and obeyed, there is none of them that didn't take good care of their parents, their siblings, their extended members of families, their own children, their own family. To God be the glory. And I profited also. Some of them, they remembered me. May God Almighty continue to remember you people for good in Yehoshua's name. This is what I believe life should be. Give and take. I never regret any effort I made to uplift my family. I never one day thought, oh, I shouldn't have done this for my family. I never, and it will never occur to me to do so. What God has sent me to do, I did, and I started with my family and I extended it to the best of my ability to wherever I go. Any position God gave to me, I must make a mark there. How many people did I recruit when I was in positions to do so? How many people that God used me to invite for recruitment and all that? And we're all doing well today. Then those of them who did not only would can you see, life is blunt. I told you, life is blunt. What you sow is what you reap. If you are lazy, you enjoy the fruit of laziness. If you are short-sighted, your report is waiting for you from 50 years. Some of them today cannot take care of themselves. I'm not mocking them, but they had the opportunity, but they didn't use it. Whose problem is it? And they cannot adequately take care of their own parents even. It's sad. Anytime I remember, I wish everybody took to that wise counsel that I gave to them. Something that I used and it worked for me, and I told you to use so that it will work for you. You lazy around and you begin to, and then I drove them away from it. I deal with them at a distance. You can't come back to me and say, Daddy, mommy, no, 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 no. You got your own part. If you don't, it's a talent. If you don't invest it, and you think daddy is still there. So that is part. Now, even coming, that's from siblings side. Let's look at our own children. All the things that I trained them, not only that I trained them, that they lived to see us do. They lived in a community, circle of friends, circle of family, circle of Christian family. I had to still reorientate, reorientate. I had to still particularly focus on themselves, making sure that they relate with one another, that they don't relate like the relationship between the seedlings of walnut. The pod of walnut may contain 3 or 4 or 2 seeds, but everybody is partitioned. You should never partition yourself. There is corporate identity, there is corporate family identity. You must one-on-one relationship. You should develop it. It's not doesn't bother on money. Is it money that say you cannot say hello to your brother or sister, to say hello and how are you all doing? And then is it this thing that will make your children not to relate together during holidays? And these children are growing on their own now, knowing you alone. You should cultivate the habit of making the children to relate so that they can bond at their young age. Is it when they now get to university or they get to they travel abroad, or is it when will they bond if they don't bond when they are young? Food for thought. All these things, I mean, the benefits of bonding that my children have with my larger family will remain there, will surpass my generation. Now, coming to the larger family, how well are they relating to the larger family members? How well are they relating with my siblings? Sometimes when I look at it, I weep from my heart that this is not the training I give to my children. But thank God I'm alive to reorientate and correct them, and they are taken to correction. But I pray that they will really get back to the root, to the level whereby the family bonding will really be strong. These people don't need you for food. They need you for relationship. They need you for what do you call it? For bonding. They need you. I mean, like Yoruba will say, ènìyàn ó boni lára ju aṣọ lọ. Ènìyàn láṣọ iyì mi tí mo fi ń bora. They need you for bonding. And if God so blesses you, why not extend tokens to them, no matter how little? These are the things. Amongst yourselves, it is not perfect. Thank God I'm alive. What if I have died maybe 15, 20 years ago? Will you be isolated from the larger family? Will you be isolated from yourselves? Something that I didn't inherit from my people. Call it old-fashionedness. Call it anything. I prefer to be old-fashioned than to be modern fashion and live in isolation like the period of COVID-19. Why are we living in isolation when we have community? Is it all about feeding? Is it all about money? Is life not more than bread and butter? Did Christ not tell you? Family relationship, family bonding is critically important in our lives. The Lord knows that I did my best as parents, as a father, to teach my children the way of the Lord and to tell them to practice it. Any family, any Christian that is not relating with the family, larger family, whatever, is not practicing the tenets of Christ. Matthew 22, 37 to 30 is not. Any Christian that is not relating with his or her parents is not practicing the tenets of Christ. He is not. He is not. Then why is all the teachings about you got it at home, you got it from the church, even you yourself, you are teaching them now? What are you teaching and preaching when the practice of it is not is not manifest in your own life? That is it. Hypocrisy is is just a thin line between hypocrisy and faithfulness. Hypocrisy will tell you, do this, do this, do this, do this. Hypocrites will not do it, but they will ask you to do it. That's why the Pharisees and Sadducees will tell you, look, you are worshiping God who wants you pay your tithe, but they don't tell you to remember your parents. They don't tell you that it's not only tithe. You alone, you will collect the 10% of somebody's income, and the parents are not collecting 0%. And you call yourself Christians. That's why Christ was telling them, say, you wash your hands before you eat. But when somebody has problems, you pend it. That's why when Christ healed on a Sunday or Sabbath day, they criticized him. Hypocrisy. So, okay, memory problem again. Just one moment. We will survive it. They won't stop us from saying what we want to say.